It's looking ever more likely that Arsenal are going to miss out on the Premier League title for the third time in a row. But what is the story behind their struggles? After the Wenger era, Arsenal didn't play too well. They were like anywhere between 5th and 9th place, which is obviously not the Arsenal way. So in December 2019, they had enough. They sacked Unai Emery and they appointed former club captain Mikel Arteta. That season, they finished 8th in the league, their lowest finish since the 94-95 season. However, they did win their 14th FA Cup in a 2-1 win over Chelsea. But little did people know that this was just the beginning. Over the next 2 years, they slowly built up their team and didn't really see any proper success until the 22-23 season, where they finished 2nd in the league after finishing 5 points behind Manchester City. Pretty far into the season, it looked like Arsenal were going to win, but they crumbled under pressure. And we saw a very similar situation last season where this time they only finished 2 points behind Manchester City and it had to go to the final day of the season. However, ultimately, Arsenal really only lost the Premier League due to their 2-0 loss to Aston Villa. Obviously, that's not the only match that contributed, but that loss to Aston Villa kind of just sealed Manchester City's Premier League title victory. And going into this season, they were obviously contenders again for top 3, 100%, and we thought it would be another Manchester City-Arsenal title race. But currently, at the time of recording, Arsenal find themselves 2nd, while Liverpool are 1st, 6 points ahead. However, they do have a game in hand, which if they win that game, they'll be 9 points clear with, we're well over halfway through the season. If we're being realistic, I don't think Arsenal is going to win the Premier League again. They're also out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round after losing to Manchester United. And they haven't yet lost in the Carabao Cup, but they did lose to Newcastle 2-0. We're still waiting for the second leg, but that's in a month or so. But it's looking like they're going to lose that second leg as well. The only positive has been in the Champions League, where they are actually 3rd place at the time of recording, which is pretty good. So it's looking like they'll get automatic qualification. However, Bukayo Saka is injured, and the strikers at the club are just not producing, really. Gabriel Jesus is injured and has been injured for some time now, and Kai Havertz is just not really cutting it. I mean, in all fairness, he does have 8 goals and 2 assists in 19 appearances, but his XG is 9.98 in the Premier League, so he should have 10 goals, realistically. And his performance against Manchester United is one of the biggest reasons why they lost. So if they want to compete, they need to find a way to sign a striker such as Gyökeres or somehow Isak, but I don't think Isak would leave Newcastle in the middle of the season. But somebody of the quality of Gyökeres if they want to have a chance to win the league. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. They would need to pay a minimum of £60 million, and I think they would be maybe quite skeptical of doing that in January. Obviously, teams don't really make signings in January. That's not always the case at Chelsea 2 years ago, but currently, the only way they're scoring is from corners, and that's pretty dead, to be honest. Arsenal just don't seem as such a strong team, you know, as strong of a team as Liverpool and Man City were 2 years ago, and a year ago even. They bottled a 2-0 lead yesterday to Aston Villa. And just in general, they have a few decent teams left, including their match against Liverpool on the 10th of May, which probably will decide the fate of the Premier League this year, but I don't think the Gunners are going to win it this year.